Today's question is which Ping golf clubs are extremely overvalued and actually some that are undervalued. I'm gonna go and pick up a set now, which, well, definitely ticks that overvalued box. Spent 10 minutes telling you that the set of irons that I bought, which I thought was really good value, are actually heavily overpriced, so please don't buy them. Guys, how you doing? Welcome back to a brand new video. It's Simon down here, going to go and pick up a Facebook Marketplace deal. Haven't found one of these in a very long time. It's probably been about 3 weeks now, and I'm picking a full set of clubs. I'll show you the listing here. £250, Ping G30 irons, which is going to be the main topic of this video, TaylorMade SLDR driver, Nike hybrids, putter, so all round good deal. But what I think there is some confusion when it comes to Ping golf clubs, especially on eBay at the moment. I see golf clubs that are 10 years old, Ping G10s, going for the same amount of money as Ping G series, which are 5 years old, with better grips and better shafts and better technology and everything else. Where's that perfect gap of the most amount of money but then getting the most amount of value? And that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. Yes, everything's expensive, but if you spend another £30 more, are you shaving 5 years off the age of those golf clubs? Exactly what I got. See what kind of condition they're in. If you wouldn't mind leaving this video a like, subscribing if you are new, nearly at 50,000, Miura giveaway, please subscribe. Well, that's gonna be fun. Right, here we go, boys and girls. Bag acquired. TaylorMade SLDR driver, obviously a very popular driver. You can see a few scuffs and scratches on the top there, but overall in pretty good condition. G30 irons, today's topic, and the whole reason that I thought of this kind of conversation is I think the G30 is probably the most overvalued irons that are, because they're in that price point that they're kind of modern enough that they're competing with irons like the G400 in the second-hand market, the G series, ones that are more modern, better grips in terms of condition, more technology if there was any advancements over those 2 years. And then we go back, you look at the G20, G25s, I mean, they're only £50 cheaper than this set. So it's like, do you spend £250 on a set of G10s, or do you spend £300 on a set of G400s? And that's why I want to have a look at prices today and do a bit of a conclusion. Overall, really good condition. 2 Nike hybrids there, and then an old school TaylorMade Rossa putter. I mean, this is, funny enough, this putter, I'd probably be lucky to get a tenner for maybe 2 years ago. Now it's probably about £3,000, as it's any TaylorMade face balance putter. Overall, really happy though. And then obviously Nike bag at the bottom there that we probably could get 10 quid for. And we're back at Sandford Springs. Gonna go and play a few holes, obviously hit them, but I pretty much hit every single club in this bag already. It's the kind of the beauty of my business. I do get to try and test loads of golf clubs nowadays. You would know, if you've watched my channel for a while, that I have always been a big fan of the G series irons, i.e. G10, G15, 20, 25, 30, you get the idea. For that beginner that's just starting the game, like Ping haven't changed their mold or their technology that much over the last 10 years. They found a model that worked, they found a model that was popular, and they've kept it. And they've slightly improved it year on year, but because it works so good for that beginner, or let's say slower swing speed mid-handicapper, why change it? Normally when they come out and retail as well, they're actually relatively cheap compared to, let's say, like forged counterparts, just because the process of making these irons is cheaper to do. Therefore, it's not going to come out as expensive. But what I have noticed, and what we're going to be showing you now, is why are these overvalued in my eyes? Because I think they're a beautiful set of irons. I think if you're a beginner golfer and you can get your hands on these, by all means, please do. But there was a spike in the 20, 25, 30 series of this iron that makes them just as expensive as, well, the newer sets, which just doesn't make any sense to me. Get the newer sets. There might be marginal improvements, but there's marginal improvements. The grips are probably going to be better, the shafts probably going to have more lifespan in them, the heads are going to have more lifespan in them. Don't get me wrong, Ping make phenomenal clubs that are well built, will last ages. Therefore, you can go back 15 years and still buy a set of Pings and the head's going to stay on. But again, I'm all about creating value for you guys, and in my eyes, these here are overvalued. Okay, so let's start at the bottom of the list. We're going G5 and G10. Now, in my eyes, anything older than those are overvalued. Any ping zing irons you're buying at the moment, overvalued. 2 years ago, £60, £70 max, great value. At the moment, 100, 150, 160, don't even bother. They will go back down to those prices, so I'll just hold your horses if for whatever reason you're definitely after a set of those. Ping G5, Ping G10, the reason I'm starting there is because they're as close as I would say to the more modern sets in terms of head design and the level of forgiveness you're going to get. Now obviously weights that they put in the newer stuff, the technology and tampering that they've done to obviously make them more forgiving and softer sounding, and everything else obviously has improved over years, but that's the bottom of the rung. And I would say G5 and G10s are overvalued as well. 180, 150 pounds for a set of these irons around like the 4 to pitching wedge, 5 to pitching wedge, steel shafted. Just not worth it. They are £100 sets of irons all day long, and you will be able to find them, by the way. You will be able to find sets of these £100. All I'm saying is don't spend double that. They're not worth it. Now the G15 and the G20 are kind of the middleman for me and the bottom end of my, let's say, not undervalued, but maybe properly valued. If you think like the G5 and the G10 are 150 to 180, and the G15 and G20 are going for like 200, like £20 more, and again, for me personally, they just look sleeker design. They look like they're a lot more modern, especially with the rubber inserts on the G20. So overall, I would say they're properly valued. If you were to pick up one of these sets for about £180, maybe a bit less, or £200 at a push, I think you've got a good set, and also I think it's going to hold its value quite well. It's when we get into the G25, all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose, and for some absurd reason, the price just rockets. It's such an interesting putter design, this one. I've never actually hit one of these before. Obviously I've hit a Rosser, but not this one. It's just like a spaceship, but then the actual sweet spot is basically the same size of the ball, so it makes you focus a bit more actually on a hit in the middle. It doesn't feel too bad off the face, but obviously, well, Spider and mallet putters have definitely come on a bit since then. But the overall head design, I think it's actually really I actually quite like it. Horrendous follow through, but that is what the SLDR is designed for, just a high lofted ball with very little spin. There's no wonder it dominated in distance on the tour when it came out, just a game changer. G25 and G30 is when I got a bit confused, because I looked at sold listings and all of a sudden £150 extra value just came out of nowhere. G25, G30, and this is why in my eyes these two sets are just heavily overvalued, overpriced, overrated at what they're charging, is because you're looking at sets of like 300, 320, 350, all these listings in the last couple of weeks. So it's not like I'm drawing listings out of the last year or so, the most highest price ones. This is just day-to-day pricing with bids, offers accepted at 320 and 330. What I'm saying is these are great irons, won't change my mind on that. But when you look at the difference between a set of Ping G20s for let's say £200 and Ping G series and 400s, which we'll talk about now, for exactly the same price, well, it just seems like a no-brainer. Like, they're newer, they're better looking, they're fresher. The shaft technology in the G400, especially graphite wise, came on tremendously that year, and you're getting it for the same amount of money. To the two sets that I see as the most undervalued, or not even undervalued because they're still quite expensive, but properly valued for what you're getting in terms of technology to price. G series and G400, really doesn't matter which one. I'd say G400 had a lot better graphite shaft options if you do want to go down the graphite shaft route, but both as good as each other, look good, feel good, sound good, grips will be in great condition, and you're looking again at the 300 to 350 pound mark, the same amount as the two previous models, which is just absurd to me. Then you go on to the G42, or like the G410 for example, and then we're up into the 500, 550 pound mark. Again, that extra 200 pound jump out of nowhere. I know obviously the G410 and the G425 look more like a spaceship, but that doesn't necessarily translate in better golf shots. Therefore, G400 and G series, for me, even though they are that much more expensive, I think you're getting a lot more for your money. Especially like a 5 to pitching wedge, when you're talking like £50 a club, just seems to make sense compared to a G20 for £40 a club. and it's that much older. Actually, this isn't anything new, and if you've watched a lot of my videos recently, you'll know that actually the more current stuff, potentially stuff that's more in demand or in that bracket of mid to high price, has got hammered more. We've had a massive influx of beginner golfers that are trying to build a bag for £400, £500, and unfortunately what that's done is it's squashed the supply of £100, £150 irons. Therefore, everything that's slightly older that was in that range has just got more competitive. And then we've seen a decrease in people buying the stuff that's 2 years old, like the Cobra Speed Zone, going for the same amount of money as the F9 and the F8, and it's 2 years more updated. I could do this with TaylorMade's M series irons. I could do this with the Callaway Apex range. I could do it with any range, and to be honest, I think we'd see a similar pattern with all of them. 2 years old, dropped massively from their retail price and then plateaued, and all the older stuff in worse condition has come up because it's just in short supply. So guys, there you have it. I've just spent 10 minutes telling you that the set of irons that I bought, which I thought was really good value, are actually heavily overpriced, so please don't buy them. If you did like this video, please leave it a like. As I say, subscribe if you're new. Nearly at 50,000, which is incredible. See you guys later.